think Bioshock would make an unbelievably multiplayer, a version of Bioshock that was strictly multiplayer focused. We had all those tools, but and all those environmental tools and all those weapons, but against other people. Not for Bioshock 1 because we're so focused on the single player. And I think if we had multiplayer in this, the combat never would have evolved to this point.
Right.
But now that we have sort of developed the combat at this point, I can see in the future. I understand what Bioshock multiplayer could be like now.
I'm hoping that it's not so simple as like use the flame plasmid to light enemies on fire. Like I hope that later in the game there are places where you can use that flame power in combination with some other power.
Right.
Light this on fire first, then the ice melts, and then there's a puddle there that you can electrocute, and then that starts up a generator that opens up the door to this room or something like that. I guess I'm kind of hoping that the number of powers and the powers that you choose to have at any given time work together to help change the gameplay experience in ways that aren't just necessarily combat focused.
In terms of like environmental puzzles, yeah, we just haven't seen a whole lot of that yet, but we just played the very beginning of the game.
We had this whole idea originally for like different pressures and things that you do in the world, that you could alter the pressure in the environment and it would change the like how you use fire, and we actually cut that system, and a lot of people sort of were unhappy about that, even internally.
To me, what it sounds like is that they had kind of Metroidvania-like progression through the levels at some point in the development that isn't there anymore, where like, you try to go to this spot, but hey, the pressure is too high in this, the water's filling up this room, come back later.
The creative director in New York, I think, who's been really helpful, Greg Goby, who worked up at Ubisoft before on the Splinter Cell games, he said, we have to fulfill the player's expectation. When he lights something on fire, it should burn. When you electrocute a guy in water, that should have an impact. Is we sort of brought all these environmental simulation elements back into the game after they came back, not to the things you did in the world, like changing the pressure or something like that, but things like this, like guys get lit on fire and they run to water. All those things that if you expect that it should work in the game simulationally, it does, as compared to most shooters where it's visually there, but it's not simulationally there. In Bioshock, generally, if it's visually there, it's also simulationally there.
When they were here a few months ago, they showed us the intro sequence to the game where, you're in a plane crash at the beginning of the game. You end up in the ocean, the plane is a flaming wreck around you. It reminded me a little bit of Lost and a little bit of early FPS kind of pioneers, like Half-Life 1 when you're on the train coming into the Black Mesa complex, or, I don't know why I'm such a sucker for that type of thing.
You're in the water, after your plane crashes. It kind of is like the movie Castaway. You see your flaming wreckage of your plane like sinking and falling apart.
Right.
And then you get in the bathysphere and ride it down. You explore Rapture for a bit. And then you're in one of the pressure tunnels between the structures, and you look up and you see the tail of the plane coming like through the ocean toward you.
Right.
And it hits the tunnel.
Sounds like you're looking forward to it, though, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think everybody has been looking forward to it so much that at this point, it's just kind of like at a peak, and we're just like ready for it.
So, can I have your helicopter for a sec?
Are you wearing your cup?
No, but I do have my my safety goggles on.
All right, lift off. Take her away.
Oh shit.